New sponsor alert, everybody. I want to tell you about my new friends over at Value Sesh. Bang for buck doesn't always have to mean cheap quality. For Value Sesh, it means that they're dedicated to offering the best tasting Delta 9 sweets with solid potency at a totally decent price. They are a family company that loves to share good vibes, and their candy always does the trick without breaking the bank. Try their 50-count bags of taffies, pure Wisconsin honey sticks, and a full menu of signature gummies. They're federally legal, ship right to your door. What don't you like about this operation? Their gummies are great. Their taffies are great. All of their products are good. I tried them myself this last weekend, and I am a new customer. So should you. Try out Value Sesh. Go to valuesesh.com to get yours. That's VALUSESH.com so that you can try out their products yourself. You will not regret it. Value Sesh. Sesh for less. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Your Morning Drive. I am the host with the most, Logan. It is great to be with you guys today. We've got a great episode. We've got great stuff today. But before we get into that, couple things. Number one, we're recording today in the Fireworks studio in Marietta, Georgia. Big shout out to Fireworks for having us today. They offer a creative co-working space dedicated to uplifting and supporting the local community. You can try them if you're working at home and you're tired of working at home. If you want to get away from your spouse, your dog, your kids, whoever you've got at home, your parents, if you're at that stage in their life. If you want to get away from them, come check out Fireworks. All you have to do is come tour the space and tell them that Logan sent you from Your Morning Drive. Or if you book time with them online, you can just use code DRIVE at the checkout page, and that will get you a free day pass to come and try out the space. You literally have nothing to lose. Great staff. They've got great refreshments, great Wi-Fi, great people to connect with as well. So give it a shot. You can listen to the show. Obviously, you know this if you're listening, but if you're trying to spread the word about Your Morning Drive, you can listen on Apple, Spotify, or you can watch on YouTube. A 5-star review on whatever platform you're on helps us grow. For more updates, behind the scenes fun, follow on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok for clips, episode announcements, everything in between that has to do with me or the podcast is on those socials. Everything is just at symbol Your Morning Drive. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. My guest today is a Marine Corps veteran and the founder of LFG Mindset Consulting, based in Cherokee County, Georgia. Drawing from his military background and personal journey of resilience, he now empowers realtors, sales professionals, and business owners throughout the Cobb and Cherokee County area and beyond to unlock peak performance and create powerful personal lives. His approach blends practical strategy with proven mindset principles, helping clients break through limits and achieve ambitious goals, both in business and beyond. Through workshops, mentorship, and community engagement, he is on a mission to elevate the way that local professionals think, act, and live. Please welcome my new friend, Andy Robinson.
Thanks, man.
How are you, dude?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very excited. I feel like we've been chatting about this here, trying to put it together for a while, and we keep bumping into each other in public, and I'm just like, bear with me, please. We're going to get it scheduled. But like when we bumped into each other at the gala, a couple months ago.
Yeah, I think we text back and forth a little bit.
That day.
And you're like, all right, cool. And then I forget what else I said. And you were like, well, I like to save getting to know anybody until the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And then we showed up at the same real estate gala, and we looked at each other and we were like, Oh, all right.
I was like, well, good to see you.
Good to
but
see you,
I'm
but
gonna
I'll
go
talk
over
to you in
there.
a couple weeks. So yeah, but no, I'm really excited to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man. You're all over the place. You're all over social media. I love the LFG mindset stuff. So before we talk about LFG, let's kind of go back. I mean, where are you from? Parents, siblings?
Yeah.
Give me that whole kind of backstory on kind of where you came from.
Absolutely. Grew up in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah. The southern part of New Jersey near Philadelphia.
Okay.
So all of our friends and family members and in some sports were Philadelphia teams fans. But I grew up there and went to school there and decided at an early age, it was a military town. So a lot of Air Force, a lot of Army kids went to my high school. Well, the Air Force kids went to my high school. The Army kids went to like our rival high school. So it was interesting. But grew up there and knew at a pretty young age, I would say like maybe 15 or 16, that I want to join the Marine Corps. Just really appealed to me, looked like a lot of fun.
Was there anything that spoke to you about the Marine Corps in general, or was it like, I want to go into the military and the Marine Corps is where you ended up, but it was like, or it was like, no, Marines?
No, I was pretty sure.
You were dead set on that.
I was dead set on the Marine Corps.
Okay.
Cool. I just liked that it was more like, I don't know, a bit more aggressive.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say a little bit more badass.
A little bit
no
more
offense
badass.
to the other branches,
no offense, but it was it was just a little bit more.
When
badass.
you think of the Marines, you think of like the badasses that are kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I knew pretty young that I wanted to do that, and so that's where I grew up, and I joined the Marine Corps. I mean, I signed up before I graduated high school, like like this summer. You can like once you're in like your summer before your senior year. So I did that, and then graduated in 2001 and went to boot camp that summer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good Lord. What did your parents think about you enlisting? Did they support it? Had you had family that served in the military?
So I had a great uncle that had served in the Marine Corps. And I think my grandfather did some time in the Army, like during World War II or something like that. Sure. But yeah, so that much. And like I said, it was a military town, so we were used to that kind of feel. My parents were a little bit, I mean, they supported me, but they did like want to make sure, they were like, the Marines kind of, it's a different way of life, guy. And I was like, yeah, but I like that, right? So
the total New Jersey thing, like, what are you doing, guy?
Yeah.
I got a buddy that's from New York, and he moved down here from Syracuse just a couple years ago, and at the end of every sentence is guy.
Okay.
So
I guess
I haven't heard anyone down here say it.
I don't know, but no, it's just they did want to bring that up. They're like, there's other branches you could serve. I mean, we were an Air Force. Guys and gals, mostly guys, but whatever. We would literally get up early and all cram into a friend's car because not everybody could drive because it was Okinawa. And we would drive to the Air Force Base to get chow at their chow hall on the weekends because it was so much better.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just the Air Force, just
a little bit bougier,
little
bougie. With all the context of it being, it's still the military. But in terms of if you're comparing Marine cafeteria versus Air Force cafeteria, you're taking the Air Force 9 times out of 10. Okay.
So it was kind of funny. But yeah, so there was that conversation around it. But I mean, they got it. Yeah. They were, I mean, like I said, I knew I wanted to do it when I was like 15. So
it's not like it was a surprise.
No. And I was always, I was always in like marching band. So I always kind of had that like discipline and that part. So it fit in, it's not like I was like sleeping in every day till like 12 and like, getting in trouble. And they're like, hey, this doesn't really fit your personality.
Right.
It always fit.
Yeah.
So I did that. So I joined in 2001. I was actually in boot camp during 9/11, which was a whole weird thing.
What was that like?
It's like because like boot camp is 3 months long, and we were right halfway through it, and it's like it's a social vacuum when you're there. You're not, you know, so
And it's also 2001, so it's not like we have this
right.
everywhere. People might
So
have cell phones.
yeah, so we were there, and then we found out it happened, and they like explained to us like what they knew had happened. And then we started getting like all kinds of like, you know, because we were only allowed to write letters and receive letters, like actually like handwritten letters and stuff. So we would start receiving like newspaper clippings and stuff from home, and it was just wild. Everything's changing, but at the same time, you're in this like complete vacuum. I think I graduated from boot camp in like October of 2000. So that's like that's when I came out and like saw like a different America, a different world, really.
Wow.
This is wild.
Does that, when you're in boot camp, I mean, I'm sure like everybody, I mean, I was so young that I can't remember what my reactions were like,
Right.
but it just, you know, from what you hear, it's like every American on that day was like, the fire was fueled. Like,
Yeah.
it was like but it was also, you know, like a heavy, you know, of course, a heavy day,
Right.
mourning for the entire country, not just New York, but just the entire country. So when you're in boot camp and you're, you know, whoever comes out and says,
this happened.
You know, the World Trade Center was just attacked. Well, even at that moment, you guys might not have even known, like, hey, a jet airliner flew into the World Trade Center, and then a couple.
I think there was a lot of unknown. So yeah.
What I wanted to get through to that, or from that, is, did that just light like some kind of, I don't want to say motivation, but did it kind of like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like encourage y'all to just like say like, okay, like I'm in the right place. I want to protect our country. I want to, you know what I'm trying to say?
No, yeah. And I'm sure it wasn't the same for everyone, but I do know that because you get your like job specialty before you go to boot camp. So a lot of people already had, well, almost everyone already had known what they were going to be getting into after boot camp. And a lot of the recruits did like try to see if they could like go into like one of the combat arms fields, but you know, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps needs what it needs. And they're not going to like really completely shift. I think maybe like the class before us, some of them might have gotten moved over to like combat arms or whatever, just to kind of augment that. But yeah, I mean, from the little bit that we got to know, I feel like a lot of us, like, we felt like we were in the right place, you know? And it reaffirmed a lot of the reasons why we were doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely interesting.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, I can't even fathom like being there in the midst of boot camp and all that entails.
Right.
I just got done reading a book by J.D. Vance. Funny enough, the Hillbilly Elegy book, and he was talking about boot camp and how he was kind of surprised at how he was surprised, but not surprised, based on, you know, like the reputation that boot camp has amongst civilians. They're like, oh, boot camp, like that's the make it or break it kind of thing for a lot of people. And he was saying like, yeah, a lot of people in his original class on the first day didn't end up graduating boot camp.
Right.
Was there anything about boot camp that like surprised you, or had you thought, you know, again, like since you'd wanted to do this since you're 15 years old, you probably done a fair amount of research and digging on what joining the military was going to be like, or were there elements of boot camp that kind of were like, whoa, okay?
It didn't really surprise me too much. I think I spent a lot of time, you know, thinking about what it was going to be like. So yeah, it didn't really surprise me too much. I think there were a couple recruits that probably didn't, you know, make it through, but nothing that really like stands out. It wasn't like a huge like attrition or anything. Just did it. Yeah. You know, and then after you do it and you get through it and you move on to other things, you can go through other trainings. Like boot camp was just like the first thing that you had to do.
Right. Boot camp was just the 3-month rigorous PT test that weeded out the people who weren't willing to.
Yeah.
Either weren't willing, or like, I'm sure there's medical reasons why people weren't able to continue.
Yeah.
But you know, it got through you know, that first phase of people that might not have made it.
Sure. Yeah.
Interesting. So, okay, so you get through boot camp, you get into the Marine Corps, you're stationed in Okinawa. That's your first,
Yeah, that was
like,
my first.
what's
Yeah.
that like? Like getting out of boot camp,
Yeah.
and then the first thing they tell you is
Yeah,
you're
I went
going
to like
Japan.
a couple other schools, and then eventually I requested actually to go to Japan. I wanted to get that. I don't know why. I just wanted to do that first.
Yeah.
It was like a 1 year. Well, like I had mentioned to you, it was like a 1 year like unaccompanied tour, and I didn't have anybody to accompany me. Anyway, I was single. So I was like, well, let me do that.
Yeah.
That way, like it's done. And I don't, if you know, I was thinking, oh well, I'm going to be doing this for maybe at least 4 years. You know, I don't really want to get like maybe, you know, get stationed like this like my final year. Like that would be weird.
Sure.
So anyway, I just did it. But it was cool. I didn't have a car. Okinawa, you're not allowed to, like, when you're a junior Marine, you're not really allowed off base like by yourself, and you can't really just like go wherever all the time. So I just did my job, worked out, got promoted, just was a good Marine.
Sure.
Right. It was just,
what was your
competitive stuff
role in the whole operation?
Oh, when I first joined the Marine Corps, I did maintenance administration. So just like when you go get your oil changed and they give you like the paperwork that they change your oil and what they did.
Yeah.
Well, for aircraft, there's a ton of that because there's a ton of parts. There's engines, there's rotors, there's all that stuff has to get documented. So I did the job to document all the things. Very thrilling. Not at all.
Well, I mean, that stuff's important.
It's important. Yeah, no, it's helpful. So, I mean, I was able to contribute.
Yeah.
And sure. And then eventually, I had the opportunity to change my job, and I became a counterintelligence and human intelligence collector.
Okay. What does that entail?
Yeah. So that's way more fun.
Yeah.
So counterintelligence, that
sounds cooler too.
That is counterintelligence is protecting our sensitive information from, you know, foreign intelligence collection. We don't do that. I didn't do that as much, but human intelligence collection is just, you know, getting information from human sources. So it's doing interrogations. It's just doing routine, like just elicitation, like going around and talking to the people that are around. It's also running source operations. So informants. So that's what I got to do next, which was way more fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like when you say interrogations, are we talking like interrogations?
Like interrogating enemy prisoners of war.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And how old are you at this point?
22.
Man, I can't imagine at 22.
So dumb.
But like, I mean, it shows like the kind of attitude you had towards the whole thing. But just like knowing myself at 22, I'm supposed to walk into a room and get information that could make or break a certain conflict.
Yeah.
That's a huge amount of pressure for an early 20 something.
Yeah.
But the fact that
well, that's the crazy thing about the military, and I mean, the good and bad, right? It's a positive and a negative, I think, is we're asking young men and women to do things, and they might not necessarily, you know, have the prefrontal cortex development, right? But at the same time, they're very capable of doing amazing things that, you know, so you don't have to wait to be a certain age to do something incredible or incredibly challenging or incredibly significant. But yeah, so I did deploy to Iraq in 2004 in the role of like that aviation maintenance administration thing. I stayed on like the air base the whole time, and it was a Huey and Cobra squadron that we were there with. And then I came back, and that's when I switched my job. And then I deployed again in 2000. I got married, and then I changed my job, and then I got deployed again in 2006 to Iraq. And the CI Human is the shorter version of that role.
Gotcha. So, okay, so you get married, which was fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And then you get redeployed. When you get deployed that second time, especially after the marriage, is it different? in your head of like, wow, now I've got something to lose back home?
I mean, it was different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It was different because it was it was a different job. It was a job that, we get attached to different types of units, like an infantry unit, which is who I got attached to, or deployed in support of. And then, yeah, like different phase in life, right? Like now I do have a spouse. So, it's a lot, that's a lot different. So yeah, there are a lot of things different, but it's just, you just kind of take the experience as it comes. But yeah, there were so many things different that it's almost like not even the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing aside from just being out of the country for like 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you got deployed again in 2006, you said?
Right.
So how long total did you serve?
6 years or 5 years. I don't know. Yeah, 5.5.
So after that tour in 2006.
So 2006 is when I got injured. Yeah, that deployment actually.
Okay.
So it was probably like a few weeks before our deployment was over.
Okay.
So our replacements were about to come in, and I was on a vehicle patrol, and in a Humvee, and we were riding around, and my Humvee got blown up with an IED, with a roadside bomb. So it ripped the front half of the truck off. I don't remember any of this shit.
No.
Nope. And I'm okay with that part.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yeah. But ripped the front half of the truck off. 3 Marines died that I just met that morning. I was just getting a ride from them. And ripped the front half of the truck off. Broke my neck and my ribs and legs and a whole bunch of shit.
I assume that's why you're in your.
That's why I got the fancy wheels. Today. Yeah, that's why
you're sporting this new ride.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
So it was wild. It was wild. So I don't remember the blast. I don't remember. Like I kind of remember that morning a little bit. Like the stuff that we did in the beginning of the patrol, but then I don't really remember anything until like maybe like a couple weeks later. I start like fading in and out when I'm in Bethesda in the hospital in Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow, man.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, one moment you're there and the next moment you're in Bethesda, which has got to be weird.
It's really weird.
I hate to compare it to like a movie, but did you wake up in the hospital and think like, oh my God, what the hell is going on?
I think because like you're so like out of it.
Yeah, and sedated and everything.
I was getting a ton of surgeries to like, because my legs had really bad like compound fractures and stuff. So I was getting a lot of surgeries to like make sure that they were clean and all that stuff. So I'm like going under general anesthesia, coming out of it, going back in a day after, like, so it's just a weird like in and out kind of experience. And then eventually I started to be more conscious, and I don't have like an aha moment when someone told me like, you have this, like, this is your condition. You're not gonna walk or whatever. I don't like have that. I'm sure someone told me at some point. I just don't have that like defining moment, probably because I was in and out,
Wow. Which I'm sure whoever was with you, I assume your wife was probably there.
Yeah, my wife was there. My parents went down there.
I assume that they were all there probably for that conversation where they said, you're not gonna. I assume I didn't get to know you before this for a reason.
Right.
So I assume you can't walk.
Right.
Period.
Paralyzed like from the chest down.
From the chest down.
Like in my hands a little bit. Like I can't move my fingers by themselves. So yeah.
So wow, man.
That's because I broke my neck like way up high.
Okay. Yeah. And so it affected
Spinal
what?
cord.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like here's where it starts, like the story of like, well, what's mindset consulting and why do you do it?
Sure.
So I'm 23 years old. On June 19th, I'm a Marine running around doing all kinds of crazy cowboy shit. And then I'm not ever. The age of 23, like that's your entire like self-image. You know what I mean? Like that's everything, especially for Marines. Like we're like insane about those things.
Yeah.
And then I'm not going to do that. So then I had to, I spent like 7 months in the hospital, and I had to figure out, I had to ask myself those hard questions like, well, what else is going to, what's going to be next?
Right. Like what now?
What is your life going to look like? Like, is there a reason are you going to drive a car? Are you going to go to college? Are you going to have a career? Can you do that? Is your wife going to want to, like, we'd been married for a year and a half. She's a great woman, but she married a early 20 something, very physically fit Marine.
Sure.
And I'm not doing that anymore. Not that she loved the job, but like there was a certain, so
she married a badass.
Yeah. It's like, and then if that does work, like, how about kids? What does that look like? And I know it's really important to her and it's really important to me, but what about all those things?
Yeah.
So thankfully I saw some people that had similar injuries that did have some of those things. I met a guy that did go back to school and got his MBA. I met a guy that not only did he drive cars, but he like raced cars. I don't know how. Wow. But whatever. So I was like, okay, well then I guess it's whichever I want to fucking do. So I started building an image of myself as someone who drove a car and was pretty independent, somebody that had a really good relationship with his wife, somebody that went to college, somebody that had a career and had impact, somebody that had kids. I didn't know what it all looked like. I didn't know what I would get into.
Sure.
But I knew that I could. And I built my new self-image like that. And then years later, I started to get all those things. And there were also guys and gals that I saw in the hospital that had injuries similar to mine, that they did go that other way. And it wasn't just a transition that they lived in for 6 to 12 months while they figured their shit out. Some of them did and moved on and do have more fulfilling lives, but some of them assumed the self-identity of a disabled service member that doesn't drive, because why would they drive? They're disabled. Why would they drive? Why would they go to college? They get disability from the government. Like, that's not.
So you decided, right. I think from what you're getting at is you decided that you weren't going to let that mindset.
Doesn't have to be true.
It does not have to be true.
Doesn't have to be true.
It could very much so be true.
Right.
And it oftentimes for a lot of people in that situation is true. But there's probably a moment, and I might be talking over you for this, but there might have been a moment where you thought, I could have died like those other 3 Marines.
Right.
And so I'm not going to sit around and be I'm the victim.
Right.
I'm not going to play the victim card my whole life and wonder what could have been when there's 3 men that were with me that morning that died.
Exactly. So that's another part of it. So in the military, in military communities, and also in other like trauma, it's called like survivor's guilt. And some people move on from life having gone through something like that, and they feel guilty that they lived, and maybe some of their buddies didn't. And that's real, and that sucks. And that's got to be really tough to move through.
Sure.
I did it different. See, the thing is like most things that happen, like we assign it meaning. We tell the story. So you can just tell a different story. So instead of me feeling guilty that I still lived, I'm like, okay, how about I just like use it and say, well, even on my shittiest day, there's 3 dudes that would be like, wouldn't mind having that day, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you got to go someplace really cool, and you got a flat tire, and now you can't go to that cool thing. Like, I'm pretty sure those 3 dudes that, those 3 Marines that died 19 years ago would love to be like, oh shit, I got to call AAA and have them come where I got to fix my tire. Right. Like, yeah. So now that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have bad days. I do, but man, but also like I also like I said, like, you can tell yourself stories about it. Like, well, wouldn't it be cool if I could cram like some extra joy and impact into every day? You know what I mean? Like there's three, that same thing that I got to live through. There's 3 Marines that didn't get to live through it. So like, couldn't there be 3 times the amount, or really 4 times, but like additional impact, additional joy, additional love, additional like abundance? I think there is. So let's do that. Let's just ride this fucker till the wheels fall off, man. Like, let's go. Like, yeah, that's awesome. So that's how I kind of view that aspect of it, is like, right, my bad days are not that bad, you know. None of our bad days are that bad. There's always somebody that is doing worse, or would love to have your day, right? Especially being in America. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's the greatest country on earth, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I think so. Compared to other places.
I haven't visited them all, but I'm happy to be here. And I know there's a ton of people that would love the opportunity.
Sure.
Right. So, but I had to rebuild that self-image, and I did that, and I got a lot of those things, and it's been great. But then it happened again other times in my life where, we moved back to San Diego, where I was stationed. I was stationed in San Diego when I got injured. So right after my hospital stay, my wife and I moved back to San Diego. And then we wanted to move to New Jersey because we wanted to be near our families. It wasn't, the move to San Diego right after was because we wanted to be independent and figure out our life. Just me and her.
Sure.
We didn't have kids yet. The move back to New Jersey was because we wanted to be around family, but we already like kind of established, like, this is how we figure it out. This is us. So we did that. And years went on, and my wife's siblings grew up and started to have their own lives. She's the oldest of 5, so we wanted to be around, while they were still like young. But they grew up and they started having their own lives, and we had our own kids, and I graduated college and I started looking for work. And it was cold and gross in New Jersey with snow, but I'm applying all over the place to find work. Applying to like DC, Colorado, Texas, California. And we start talking about it. And we're like, well, California seems pretty nice. And we were like, yeah, so let's focus on that. So I was applying to jobs anywhere from LA all the way down to Mexico, which is a huge area. But we wanted to move there, and nothing is working out. Like, none of the resumes are getting responses. Interviews aren't happening. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, in 2006, like, in the midst of like a tragic moment, I had to decide what I wanted next. And I decided, I didn't necessarily know how to get it, but I decided, and now I have almost all of those things. I didn't have the job yet. I was like, well, what if, and of course, like, a lot of times when a tragic thing happens, like a life altering moment, you have to make a decision which direction to go. But I thought, well, what would happen if I made the decision again, even though nothing tragic is happening? I'm just looking for work. Now, remember, I have twins that are 2 years old this time, and I don't have a job. I'm getting some money from the government, right? From the VA, like, so I'm getting that, but I don't have a job. But I'm like, none of this shit's working. What if I just decide? What if we just decide? So I went to my wife and I said, hey, I think we just need to like move to California, and I'll find a job on the way, or I'll find one after we get there. So we put our house up in New Jersey for rent, and somebody signs that and puts a date on it. So now it's getting more real, and there's a commitment. I mean,
now you got to get out of there.
We got to get. That'd be really weird. Pay me rent and live with me. This is before Airbnb really was as big as it is now. But so we did that, and then we started. Now, instead of like LA to Mexico, which is huge, where do you want to live? Where do we want to be? And we decided we wanted to be in San Diego County, in like North County, San Diego. So we started looking for a wheelchair accessible or accessible-ish place. We found one.
Accessible or accessible-ish?
Accessible-ish.
Okay.
There were still some steps. Like, it was really wild to actually like commit to it without like seeing it personally. We had friends that were wheelchair savvy in the area that helped us look for it. But Like, I was like, all right, I'll get somebody to build a deck for that and build a ramp and it'll be fine. But it was at least like one level. And so we went ahead and like, and it wasn't to like a realtor or to like a property management company. Like it was like just the homeowner. So we wrote a nice letter, I for sure like sugared him up,
Sure.
and he called me. His name was Paul, and I'll never forget his name. But he called me. He was like, "Hey, Andy, like I really appreciate the letter and thank you for your service. And your family seems great." He's like, "But I'm looking at the numbers part of your application, and like, are you going to be able to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." He probably shouldn't have rented it to me. It was like $5,000 a month, but
Jeez.
he did, and and so now we have our names and signatures for a date for California. So now like we have to move.
Yeah.
Right. So now with that, I go on Facebook, and I'm sure I had posted that I was like looking for work before that, but now I was really specific and I said, "Oh, I am moving to San Diego and I'm looking for work. If anybody knows of anything, cool, let me know." So an acquaintance from high school reached out and he's like, "Do you know anything about bonds?" And I said, "Savings bonds?" He's like, "No, like financial, like capital markets, like," and he explained it to me a little bit and told me to go read a couple things. So I read a couple things, and he's like, "There's this firm in San Diego and they hire veterans. I don't know if they're hiring, but you might want to check them out." So I checked them out. I sent in my resume, still in New Jersey at the time. So I took my stupid, huge Dodge Ram 2500 pickup truck that was all like tricked out for me to drive. I drove it all the way to Manhattan and interviewed with these guys. And the whole way up there, I'm like listening to like motivational, like 90 minutes on the New Jersey Turnpike. Like I was ready to fucking squash somebody's head. But so I built this self-image of somebody who was successful in finance, even though I didn't really totally know what that meant. And I got the job. And the crazy part is, though, that firm's office in San Diego was 8 minutes away from the house that I already signed to rent. So what happens if, like, and then taking that job within probably a year and a half tripled my income, and the real estate decisions that we eventually make, because we left New Jersey and we eventually sell that house, and then eventually we buy a house in California, and we all know how real estate works. We eventually sell that house, right? That doubled my family's net worth. What happens if I just wait in New Jersey and I do the quote unquote responsible, rational thing and wait to find the job before I choose what part of the country to go live in? I end up in like Bakersfield or like, some dusty ass desert town.
Podunk town.
Right.
Yeah.
Or nothing ever happens and I just stay in New Jersey in the snow and the cold and whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you wonder what if.
Yeah. And when I tell that story to some people, and I told it to a woman, she was like, "You're really good at finding resources." And I said, "No, it's not. No, you totally missed the story. Yeah, you don't find resources. You just make a decision. And as you start moving in that direction, the resources show up and you start attracting them. Right. So that's when I think about like, why am I teaching this? What am I sharing with people? Is that the power is in your mind, like the self-image that you hold of yourself, the decisions that you make for your future of what you want to be. Like you can choose whatever the hell you want. You can choose whatever you want and then just build your mind around it. So, I mean, your mind is keeping you stuck where you're at. It's limiting you. But if you can turn it the other way, it can get you everything you want in the world. So,
wow. Two things that jumped out at me during that little leg there. Number one, I don't know how I didn't say this from the get-go, but thank you for your service
thanks,
and what
man.
you've done. I mean, I had an interest in the military when I was quite young, and when I was in high school, I did junior ROTC, and I went through all that and wore the uniform proudly and did all those things that I got to do and learned history of the military and all those fun things. It was Air Force, and the cafeteria food was banging.
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe that was just my high school's cafeteria. But I just have tremendous respect for you for doing that.
It was a lot of fun. I loved it.
And being here and in your current state and having the mindset that you have is just unreal.
You
But
just-
it's just super inspiring.
Thanks. I mean, yeah, you just you just got to ask yourself, like, what do you want in life?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
just make it beautiful and amazing and awesome and an adventure.
You know, one of the things, Andy, that I really, really want in my life, and especially now more than ever because it is the summertime,
Okay.
I want at all times a Good Days classic cocktail.
Love it.
This podcast, Andy, is also brought to us by my very good friends at Good Days. They are local guys to Marietta that love a good day and a classic cocktail. So they put them together and made Good Days classic cocktails. Good Days Classic Cocktails are a ready-to-drink, convenient, pre-canned cocktail that meet the need for a quality pre-mixed cocktail for any occasion. You can try their cocktails by going to their website, drinkgooddays.com/pages/find us to find a store near you selling their drink. They've got 4 delicious flavors. They've got a gin and juice, a vodka lime, a vodka cranberry, and a whiskey flavor. They're very good. They're local guys to Georgia. I'm very good friends with them. They've been a partner of the podcast for a long time. And going into summer 2025, Good Days are in the cooler at all times. So try them out. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume, but yeah, go and check them out. But nice little segue there.
I love it. Yeah. And you can have them whenever you want. Like, you can just set your mind to it.
You can. Yeah. Just go to your local liquor store, and if they don't have Good Days, ask them why they don't.
Yeah.
Because they want the business and you want the Good Days. I love them. They're actually
cool.
very good. And maybe I'm biased because they support the podcast, but they're actually damn good content.
That's good.
So, okay. So you get to California, like you said, you go through all these things, you buy the house, you double your family's net worth, you triple your income, things are going swimmingly in California.
Yeah.
Why are you here with me in Georgia? What brought you here?
So we were there.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
The other thing that jumped out at me is you went from a place of not knowing if you were going to be able to have kids to having twins. I just wanted to bring that up. That's awesome.
Twins, man, twins. Yeah. So that was that's a whole journey too. But
Goodness.
Yeah, so we have a boy and a girl twin, and they're 13 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Do they know their dad is an absolute maniac?
They know that I'm extra. So it's good. It's fun, man. It's a blast.
That's awesome, dude. I love that for you guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes. Yeah. What brought you to Georgia?
So we were out there in California for a while. Just, we moved there when our kids were like 2 years old, and but our parents were still in. And families were still in New Jersey. And when your kids are 2, it's not that big of a deal to take them out of pre-K and go to New Jersey for a whole week.
Sure.
But once they start getting older and like school starts being real and they start having activities, and that whole like travel from New Jersey to San Diego is a lot. And so like you're spending all of your, spring breaks, winter breaks, or you're just not seeing family.
Yeah.
And I went back to New York for a work trip, and I wasn't going to tell my parents that I was going, even though it was near New Jersey, because my parents, I could have been in any part of Manhattan and my parents would have come.
Sure.
They would have walked block. I mean, they would, even though they shouldn't have, you know what I mean? Like,
sure. Yeah. I mean,
but I got there and I realized that my hotel was literally across the street from Penn Station in New York. So I called my parents up and I was like, hey, I'm in New York. If you guys get on the train station down in New Jersey where you're at and you ride it to New York, you can literally come up the stairs. I will meet you and we'll have breakfast. So they did. And it had probably been maybe a year or maybe a year and a half since I had seen my parents. And if they're listening to this, I'm sorry, but they just aged. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm not seeing people enough.
Sure.
We're not seeing where this isn't okay.
Sure.
So, and then real estate too. It's just, in San Diego, to move closer to my office, the house we rented was like 8 minutes from the office.
Sure.
But then when it came time to buy, you know how it is. Like you're like, oh, I really want to buy right here, and then you like see what the inventory is. But also like for us, like we're looking for like a ranch, like a wheelchair,
Sure, accessible.
and that doesn't happen in California because it's so dirt is so expensive. Everybody builds up.
Mm-hmm.
So we did find a place, but it was quite a ways from the office. And to get closer to the office, it's going to be like 1.5 million. And I don't even like the place. And I'm gutting. It's like not even. So we started thinking about where else we might be. And so we looked at a couple, maybe Dallas. I definitely didn't want to be messing around with snow. So I didn't want to go back to Philly or New Jersey or New York. And I also didn't want to mess with hurricanes. So we looked around and figured Atlanta has a lot of corporate infrastructure. If for some reason my firm says they can't really support the move, I can probably figure something out, right? So it was Atlanta. So chose that.
And did the firm support the move?
They did. Yeah. We were sending people down here from New York or San Diego every couple of months. And, you know, when you do something like that, you know, you try to go to Chicago to visit clients or go to Minneapolis or go to Atlanta or go to Dallas. You're like, hey man, I'll be in town Tuesday and Wednesday of 2 weeks from now. Can we get a drink? And that's just that's hard to do. This is before COVID happened. So people weren't Zooming. The only time you got to see your clients was if you went to go see them.
Right.
Occasionally they would take a phone call, but like Zoom was not happening.
Right. It was like, let's go meet up.
So, but it's hard to fit that in. And so I talked to my firm about it. I said, guys, like I want to do this, but also this could work out well for us. Cause then it's just, hey, when can I get on your calendar anytime in the next, 2 weeks, guy from Coca-Cola, and we get on there. So, they supported it. And, so then actually moved out here during COVID.
Oh, wow. So you haven't been out here that long?
No, 2020 is when we moved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I did that, moved here, did that job for a few more years, then started looking for something else, found this, and now I do this.
So. Okay. So when you say you found this, I mean, you founded it, right?
Yeah. I started getting interested in like what other stuff I might want to do.
Sure.
Started getting around real estate, short-term rentals, managing short-term rentals. So I was like, oh, I'll replace my nice like investment banking income with this short-term rental managing income. And when you try to like do like a trade like that, it never works. So, but whatever. The mindset coach. I still have to learn. Remember, I was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
okay?
this is true.
So like I was like, oh, I'll do that. But I got a lot of coaches in real estate, and a lot of my coaches had this mindset coach.
Hello, everybody. We're talking today about another new sponsor that's representing your morning drive. We are brought to you today by the Corporate Vine, where custom learning solutions and startup business coaching come together to empower learning professionals and leaders. They offer hands-on support from project management tools to tailored development programs designed to help your organization thrive. If you're investing in your team's growth and impact, go ahead and check them out at thecorporatevine.com to learn more information. That's thecorporatevine, VINE.com to learn more information.
So I started getting around these ideas and started hearing them. And I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. And I've actually had some experience with that, some really profound experience with that. So I started getting around this more and more. And then I was like, oh my God, this is like the thing, stuff that came to me naturally when I was 23. But just because it comes naturally to someone or someone when they're 23 doesn't mean that two things. One, doesn't mean that it's common. And two, there's endless levels of it. Like there's always more awareness. There's always more like better mindset practices. There's always another self-image I can build of myself and of other people, or help other people build a self-image of themselves. So I got around my coach, and I was like, oh, you have to do this thing. So yeah, so now I do it.
Wow. I'm sitting here thinking as you're telling this story that like of course you're doing this, because in a weird philosophical, maybe God, depending on where you
Yeah.
are with the whole thing. I mean, you were dead set when you were a teenager on going into the Marines.
Mhm.
And if you had not been, you might not be in your condition that you're in now. And if you're
Correct.
not in the condition you were in now, you might not have ever had to tackle life with this let's fucking go
Right.
mindset.
Right.
So it just kind of, in a weird way, literally your story wrote itself as it was happening,
Right.
which I know is true for all of us,
Right.
but yours literally fell into place exactly when
Right.
it was supposed
So to see what I'm doing now, you're like, oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, the dude that survived
Right.
that horrific incident and used his mindset to say, I'm never going to be a victim. I'm never going to play this card of, you know, being dealt a shit hand. Wow.
And an
That's so
interesting
cool.
part is like, when I did the finance stuff for a decade, it was a firm that is founded by veterans, and they hire veterans as part of their social mission, and also just how they want to build their firm, and it makes sense. So there was that like acknowledgement of, oh, like Andy's one of our veteran team members, but I was building relationships based on my ability to conduct business, and I never told my story a lot. Now I'd show up to a meeting and they were like, oh yeah, these are veterans, and I'm sure they could probably make their like assumptions, and maybe they were right sometimes, maybe they weren't, I don't know, but we never really talked about it. And I think part of that is like, I wanted my self-image and my identity to not be the quote unquote disabled person like identity story, that I just didn't really lean into that. But now I realize that me telling my story helps these ideas land with people. It helps illustrate how the power of the mind can get you the results that you do or don't want. So now it's like, well, now not that I have to tell my story, but it's a huge part in helping people understand it.
And so when you started LFG Mindset, first of all, the name, did you struggle at all to come up with that name?
Or my wife came up with that.
Really?
I know. We're someplace baseball, and we're a baseball family.
Okay.
So there's that. But I was like, what should we call it? And she's like, let's fucking go. I was like, oh. Okay. Cool. But so you kind of know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Right.
You should probably, if Andy is speaking at something that at some event, you would hopefully get out of that speaking engagement and wanting to run through a wall. Right. Like that's the kind of attitude you should be having.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah. So actually, my wife came up with the name of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So okay, so you start LFG Mindset. You decide to go to business with yourself, and you're going to take that risk, and you dive all in. What's the first kind of avenue that you said, okay, I'm going to pursue income by? Was it public speaking? Was it speaking engagements, courses? Like, how did you initially start LFG? Like, with what were you offering?
So offering really worked with my coach to help me kind of like conceptualize it, but built out like a 12 lesson kind of framework,
like a 12-week course.
Yep. 12 lessons. And but you know, his advice was really brilliant, which for anybody who sees themselves as like an educator or a coach is, don't wait until you have it all ready. You know, a lot of people would be like, oh, I want to teach people. If you were to say you wanted to teach people how to do a podcast, and you're like, all right, well, you know, maybe 8 to 12 like lessons. And then you're like, all right, I'll teach people this, and I'll go out and try to sell it, and I'll go out and try to teach people it. But I got to get all 12 lessons like really buttoned up perfect.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, that's going to take you forever.
Yeah.
You're going to lose steam.
Yeah.
And then also you're going to get it all done and think it's perfect. And then when you go to teach to somebody, you're going to be like, oh,
yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
So his advice and kind of guidance was, you know, get all 12 ideas down, get 3 of them like, you know, formulated, and then go find some people and serve them. So really it's just finding the people and and teaching them. And he was right, because as you go through it, I've gone through my 12 lesson thing several times now, and just now I feel like I'm getting it dialed in, whereas it could probably be like a more solid, like, you know, more like, I feel like I'm getting better and better at it, right? So, yeah, it's interesting.
So then let's fast forward to right now.
Yeah.
Where is LFG Mindset today? How are you doing? Are you staying busy? Give me kind of what's your life like?
Staying busy. It's an interesting, coaching is an interesting business. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
But it's like any other small business. Like, there's the one thing that you really are good at.
Yeah.
For me, that's coaching.
Yeah.
But then there's the other parts that you need to be good at: marketing, leads, sales, finding your people, right? And just running a business.
Yeah.
So those other parts I'm getting better at. And finding my people, right? Finding the people that I could serve. And yeah, so we're doing really well. Got like 10 clients. So clipping along.
Wonderful.
Growing and growing.
What's your wife do?
She helps keep me honest in the coaching, which is you need to be more, because there's lots of different parts of mindset. There's the spiritual side,
Sure.
God or the infinite intelligence or whatever you want to call it. There's the physical part, which is like the actual like physiological response that you're having to your life experiences, your memory, trauma, happiness, joy. And then there's the practical side, is like what to do. Like, that's great. Like, I could talk to you about the spiritual or the physiological, and we could have a really cool conversation. But if I'm not giving you something to do, I'm not really coaching you.
Sure.
So there's all three of those things. But then there's also the emotional part that I need to be open about. I need to be open about my own emotional journey, my own journey with, these feelings and thoughts and things. So, my wife has been really helpful in reminding me to like go to that, because mindset is also the thing that you could like nerd out about. Like, we could talk about, how the ice crystals form better when you transmute and say positive things to water before it's frozen. But if you say negative things to water and then they freeze it, like, the ice crystals are all jacked up.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's an actual study.
I'm absolutely going to try that.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know if we have the scientific equipment to like
Maybe
judge the crystals, but they did do the experiment, and yeah, it's wild.
Wow. Yeah, I was having a mindset conversation with I did a podcast last week with, have you met Miles Rubin?
Yeah, he's the best.
Dude, I met him, and similar to you, had never, well, not similar to you because I've seen you out and about here and there, but I'd never met him before.
Yeah.
So he comes in with this energy.
Yeah.
And we spent, the podcast just talking about mindset, and I got out of that. And similar to yours, I mean, what's so funny is that you both kind of tackle mindset, but you both do it in such different ways.
It's really fun.
At first I was like, oh, I just talked, I was thinking this morning, I was like, I'm excited for this, but like, I just talked to Miles about mindset. Is it going to be too similar?
Yeah, no.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's like, I'm thinking about how he does it, but now I'm sitting here as you're telling your story, and I'm like, God, Andy does it so different.
It's different. It's really funny.
Completely different frameworks.
It's so funny because I remember, because Miles has been doing this and has been in this community longer than I have been. But I remember like going to some like local like meetups, and I'm like, all right. And I think a lot of times small business owners, when they first start, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go to a small business meetup and like, it'll be great. And I'll find some people that like might be my clients and I'll do business with.
Yeah.
And then you show up, and like, whether you're a realtor or a painter or, God forbid, a roofing person or an insurance salesman or anything, but like, there's like 7 of you there. But I remember like Miles is like, yeah, and I teach mindset. And I was like, wow, interesting. But we've gotten to know each other, and it's so it's such a great friendship, and
Yeah.
and it really is. Like we both just handle it, like both come at it with slightly like different ways.
Yeah.
But we also personality is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So some people like are going to fit with me, some people are going to fit with him. I'm sure we'll probably bounce some clients back and
Sure.
forth too.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a lot of it's interesting, a lot of fun.
Yeah. Really fun. That's awesome, man. I love all of this. This is all so good. So all your time and your energy is going into LFG right now. What's next? Are you just going to keep focusing on growing this guy as big as you can get it, or are there other projects that you'd like to? Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you'd like to try?
Yeah. So right now I do my 12-week, building it out to for a couple things. One, I've been building it out to like serve as like an actual like team. So if you have a sales team, whether you're a realty brokerage or insurance or whatever, like if you talk to someone that owns those businesses, you ask them like, do you want to motivate your team? Like, would it benefit you and your business if your team was clear on mindset and motivated and understood where they were going and more confident? And they say, yeah, absolutely. Do you feel capable, or do you have the desire to bring all 30 or 40 people through that? And they'd be like, hell no. I'm a real estate broker. I don't want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
right. I can take that. I would love, what would happen? Like, do you know what would happen if you could raise the vibration of like, I don't know, 60% of the sales team? It'd be insane. Like, it'd be so good. Best place to work and with the best results and the most happiness, and like getting those results wouldn't be hard. Like the stuff would come easily. Like we would just naturally be like tripling our incomes. I want to do that. That's exciting to me.
Tripling income?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
So I want to do that for teams.
So not just tailoring the program to individuals, but to large.
Right. So right now, like I'll get, 5 or 6 clients, and we'll launch this 12-week, and one will be a realtor, one will be insurance. They'll be from various stages and whatever. And I'll put them in a group and I'll teach them. And we also have in that, there's space for like one-on-one accountability with me. So that's the difference that you get with me versus some other courses or like a podcast or a book. Like I'm giving you stuff to do, and I'm checking in to see how it's going. And so that's something that I don't really want to ever stop doing. I think it's really important. But I would love to, and I've built out my course that I can present it to an already established team to really help them like ratchet it up. Doing some in-person events, retreats, right? Especially for small business owners that maybe are couples, right? Because that's a lot, right? Yeah. You've got kids, you've got your relationship, you've got your businesses. Like, let's get you out of that for a day and a half.
Yeah.
And let's talk about what you really want your life to look like, because it's important. Because if you don't have a goal and that goal isn't emotionalized and it doesn't come with a whole different lifestyle, like you're just going to repeat the same shit over and over again. And that's not really good. So doing in-person events and then building out my like motivational and keynote speaking, definitely focused on doing that as well. Gets me the opportunity to add value to people, more people, and also makes it easier for my people to find me and for me to find my people.
Sure. That all makes sense. Andy, there comes a point in every conversation that I have with my guests where I ask them a collection of questions that have nothing to do with their story or who they are professionally, but it has everything to do with who they are personally. When you're Andy at home, when you're not working, when you're being who you are as a human being and not a coach, these questions are just they're kind of first date questions, like just get to know you questions. Yeah. So that if we're making small talk one day, I'm like, hey, we got something in common. So I ask all the guests this. So whether I'm sitting across from Andy, the mindset coach, or the president of the United States, I'm going to ask him or her the same set of questions.
Great.
But before I do that, I want to ask you a question that has nothing to do with those questions. And Andy, do you enjoy elevating your business in all the ways that you can? Do you enjoy elevating your business and your brand?
Yeah.
Well, if you do like that, Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting as well, Hammerhead offers full support for in-house shows and external show creation from concept to production. They'll help you bring your ideas to life. Visit hammerheadcreations.com and discover how they can take your business or podcast to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks. Andy, are you ready for these questions?
Let's go.
Let's go. On brand.
Yes.
What's your favorite movie?
Interstellar.
That's a great choice.
It's a great movie.
Great movie.
I love the way they do the fourth dimension.
Oh, God. I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater. Man, I need to go back and watch it. I should have gone back and seen it when they re-released it in theaters.
Did they do
like
it in
2 months
IMAX
ago
or something?
Yeah.
I need to go. I don't think I think I only watched it maybe a year ago.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
It's crazy.
oh,
It's the kind of movie that you get out of and you're like, I need to go home and lay down.
right. You need a nap.
You need a nap after the movie. What was your first job ever? First time you collected a paycheck?
I think I worked for a produce farm in New Jersey.
A produce farm.
Yeah.
Sweet. You get to organize a music festival for you. This festival is dedicated to you. You get to pick your 3 headliners.
Oof.
Who are your 3 headliners? They could be alive or dead.
Damn. Shit. Probably Incubus would be one. Incubus, you can cut out the dead space. We'll do Incubus, probably, I don't know, Dave Matthews and like Blink-182. I'll go back to like my high school days.
Yeah, those are solid choices. That's
fun.
a great festival. I'm buying tickets to that.
Yeah.
On a day that you are not working, on a day that you're relaxing with the wife or the kids, what does self-care look like for you? How do you take care of yourself? How do you recharge?
Well, see, I mean, because of my work, I'm very strict about that all the time. But if I have extra time just to like, honestly, like I love just like sitting outside and just zoning, just like completely going out.
Like no technology, no nothing, just kind of sitting there and just soaking
just like soaking it in and like letting your like just removing yourself from everything, which is good.
It's probably pretty therapeutic.
But I will also like scroll through the TikToks. I mean, they're fun too, right? Like I will enjoy that from time to time.
Sure. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given?
Oh man. I think as far as like, I don't know, like one was like about leadership. Like, you know, you'll always see things that in leaders that you want to emulate. And you'll also see things that you want to make sure you don't. So I think that's a good example, like for always. And then also just like, but then it's also just been my experience that like, you don't know what somebody else their experience is like, right? Like we've obviously right now, but also like increasingly over the years, like we've lived in like a very like polarized country. But I bet you like almost anybody that you could think like, oh, like I have beef with them. You could probably like sit in a room like this. And if you sit long enough and like remove all the external shit, probably have more in common with them than you think.
I like that a lot. We need that a lot right now. What's your biggest fear?
Don't have them.
I was going to say, you give me the vibe of a dude that has, you literally have nothing to fear. You've
Yeah,
seen, you've knocked on death's door.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have fear, and then also like with the mindset stuff, like that's a huge lesson. And yeah, you just have the mechanisms in place to like just not, what's it not going to work out? Like we'll be fine. We'll figure it out, right? And yeah, so there's really not much to be afraid of. Not saying that there aren't people that are experiencing fear, or that fear isn't like real to you. I'm just saying,
if it is, maybe you should call Andy.
I'll help you. We can talk about it.
Hell yeah. And then lastly, my friend, what keeps you motivated? What's your main motivator? What pushes you? What is your morning drive?
Just get into the next version of myself, man. Like, I feel that. I spend time feeling, I already know what it feels like to be that version of me. I just haven't grown into it yet. But I spend time feeling it. And that's like the best thing. Like feeling bliss of shit that you haven't even experienced yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, I want to go through and run through a wall.
Let's go. Which one?
Preferably that one. I don't want to run through the electrical panel.
No, don't do that.
But Andy, dude, I truly tremendously appreciate your time.
Yeah, I mean, really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
You're a busy guy, and you've got all these things going on, but the fact that you decided to choose to spend an hour and a half with me on a Tuesday night, it means the world to me. And I thank you again for what you've done for our country and serving your time. And I truly appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
Guys, I'll make sure that actually, before I do that, Andy, go ahead and tell the people where to find you, how to find you, what you offer, and everything in between.
Yeah. So I'm on all social media networks at LFG Mind. Let's fucking go Mind. And that's my website as well, lfgmind.com. So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Instagram is probably the most robust and easiest place. But yeah, I am in the North Atlanta metro area, but I've got clients from all over the country. So, if anybody's interested, if anybody just feels like they want to grow into the next version of themselves easier, more naturally, right? I'm your person.
I like it a lot. Guys, I'll make sure to put the link to Andy's website in the description of the episode so that it's easily accessible, so that you can click it, tap it, do whatever. If you're interested in the stuff that we're talking about and you want to learn more about what he does at LFG Mindset. Andy, again, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Guys, like I said at the top, follow me on all those platforms. You can follow me personally, Logan A. Lewis, on everything. Everything is at Your Morning Drive for the podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next time. Take care, guys.
Sweet.